So I have a lot to talk about, so I have to chop it up in pieces. So this first part, we'll call this Theosophy, Hermeticism, Hermes, and Thoth, part 1. Hopefully I remember that how to put it. But anyway, so I'm about halfway through Ocean of Theosophy, Teachings of Madame Helena Blavatsky, in parentheses, audiobook lecture from Free Audiobooks for Intellectual Exercise. What I have to think about it is that, well, there's what I know about it, and then there's what I think about it. What I know about it is that people all through history, especially in California, in America, in Europe, in the last couple thousand years, especially in the last couple hundred years as well, have taken ancient texts and texts from times that are up for debate and have ran with it, all the way to starting their own religion. Thus, I've come to the conclusion that Christianity and Islam are the truest religions, and that there are a bunch of branches that attempt to incorporate them all, and Hermeticism is one of the more popular of these forms. Also, the Golden Dawn and the Theosophical Society are connected in many ways. The Theosophical Society having published some of the Golden Dawn's books. There's individual members. I'll put it in the comment if I really care, but I don't really care to give these people any more notoriety and infamy and fame than they already have, because I'm sure that they love it. When they're pretty much, they don't know nothing. They're a bunch of know-nothings. They know shit. It's very sad that you have whole groups of people that not only subscribe to this pathetic way of thinking, but you have them forcing it on us. It's very pernicious, it's very destructive, detrimental, deleterious, it's adverse, it's inimical, it's unfavorable, it's baleful, it's malign, it's malignant, it's noxious, it's poisonous, it's corrupting, it's maleficent. And this pernicious influence that it has on society is going to bring us down till we're destroyed. And why? A bunch of groups that don't know what the hell they're talking about. Okay, so let me first talk about Hermeticism. The catechist is a symbol of Hermeticism. It's the symbol of Hermes, who is based on Thoth, from what I gather. And another person claims that Hermes was first worshipped as a snake god, which would make sense because the catechist symbol, his staff, is his main symbol. So when you talk about Hermeticism, you're talking about alchemy, astrology, and theurgy. And theurgy is basically it's the practice of rituals, magic rituals, which are invoking the presence of gods and deities. So, really, you have a lot of this stuff that comes in the late antiquity and in the Renaissance, and in Hermeticism is where, some people try to say it comes from a Greek priest king called Hermes. Hermes Trismegistus. I personally think it's fucking stupid, but whatever. And this is where you get your as above, as below, which has been translated as that which is below corresponds to that which is above, and that which is above corresponds to that which is below to accomplish the miracle of one thing. This has to do with their interpretation of microcosm and macrocosm. Microcosm is your oneself, and macrocosm is the universe. Now, a lot of this stuff is available in plenty. There's plenty of information on it, different books, different websites, even Wikipedia. To keep a very simple, brief explanation, which is pretty much all you need, because it's all bullshit. You don't need to read all these books about it. It's all bullshit. But I recommend Wikipedia. That's where most of my notes for this video will come from. So basically, most of the Western esotericism is based on Hermeticism, and you have works such as the Emerald Tablet of Hermes Trismegistus, and they talk about perfecting your body. Just like martial arts talks about perfecting. They have their Western corrupt, occult, very unhealthy, very inimical, very adverse, very pernicious, very damaging ideologies. And they're making their occult ideologies part of cultural norms. I more than cover that. Again, Rosicrucianism, the Hermetic Order, the Golden Dawn, Freemasonry is all based on this sort of stuff, this sort of combining the different religions. That's why they take people from different religions, because they're combining them and they're teaching them that God gave them all certain universal values, and they want them all to come together for one world, one new world order, world government, world cultures, and in some cases a world race. They talk about 7 worlds. I'm running out of time, so I may as well get off the Hermes. But no, I just want to. Hermes is the god of trade, thieves, travelers, sports, athletes, and border crossings. This is why you have a lot of famous athletes, celebrities, musicians. They're involved in trade. You have these celebrities doing commercials. You have these music artists doing commercials. That's why they want these people in their Freemasonic societies and their secret societies, because this is what Hermes was the god of. He is also referred to as the giver of wealth, the ram bearer, stander at the doorpost. So not only does he have the snakes in his catechist, he also is holding a ram in one of his statues, which is, the symbol of where you get the Baphomet and all this horrible, horrible stuff. This also has to do with the Hyksos, and there's a lot going into them. I'm running out of time, and I want to make this the first part, and then I want to have room for the second half of the Theosophy. So Theosophy is basically talking about a lot of different aspects of the soul. In the first half, it's talking about the one world race, the 7 worlds, and the planets, Mercury, Venus, Mars, the sun, the moon, etc., Saturn, Jupiter, and how they claim that they're all part of human spirituality and human consciousness. And so they say desire is a good thing, because great minds desire to do things such as invent things, such as to do the right thing. And basically you have to truly understand it with Hermeticism, and how they talk about the 7 heavens, which is the spheres, and they travel in circles and govern destiny. Really, to understand Theosophy is to understand Hermeticism, and vice versa. And all of it is really a joke. It's a twist. Just like I said, the white man's twist of Egypt. This is the white man's twist. These are the Greeks' secret societies who are giving you these ideas, and the Golden Dawn, which has made them popular, and the people who broke their oath in the Golden Dawn and started their own groups and books are the ones who are giving you the views that we have today being pushed on us by people who think that they're enlightened when they're fucking idiots. They're complete morons. And when I hear this stuff, it makes me completely sick. It's disgusting. I wouldn't even be listening to it if it wasn't being pushed on us and I didn't need to refresh my memory on it. All this stuff I've went over before many, many times. I've made videos on it many, many times. But I feel that it's vital, it's relevant, it's pertinent to what I'm doing right now in my videos on my robot channel. So, you gotta understand that this is syncretism, bringing religions together. They've always done this. The Romans, the Greeks, when they went into Egypt. Basically, Greeks is the hand-me-down religion from ancient Egypt. So is Babylon. So is Assyria. So is the Persians. All these. These are African religions that are being twisted by the white man to bring in one world order from a Western point of view. It's not a coincidence that the Freemasonry started in England in 1349 or something like that. And then, you had the stonemasons. Then you had speculative Freemasonry, which gave you all the rituals and rites and ideas, pretty much for the most part, that we have today in Freemasonry. So the Hermetic mystery schools, which was written in Coptic language and the Egyptian language. A lot of these texts came from Nag Hammadi, was discovered by a Muslim man named Muhammad, not the Prophet. And so I'm almost out of time. So basically, remember, these are Satanists, these are Luciferians, and I will talk about part 2 and finish up with part 1 in my next video. Thank you.